Should I rent or should I buy? Now, that's a question that I get almost daily, especially now in this market where interest rates have risen so dramatically over the past year. And the short answer is if you're capable of buying at the moment, you should always consider buying. We're going to break down exactly all of the advantages when you purchase a home as compared to renting a home. There's an old saying that no matter what happens, where you live, you are paying someone's mortgage. So you might as well be paying yours. And I hope this video gives you a little insight about the advantages of owning a home, and we'll break it down number by number. Hey guys, before we jump into this video, I do want to mention Fievel Real Estate is a flat fee real estate company. And what that means is we save our clients tens of thousands of dollars when it comes time to sell their home. What most home sellers don't know is their biggest expense by far is commissions paid to real estate agents. And at Fievel Real Estate, we sell your home for just under $5,000. We do everything from start to finish and beyond, from contracts to negotiations to compliance. We're even there after you close on the property to support you with your next steps. If you're interested in that, click the link in the bio. Now, let's jump into the video. Now, the big question that a lot of people have right now is, should I wait for interest rates to lower? And because interest rates don't necessarily fluctuate on a very quick basis, my comment to you is if you're in a position to purchase a home, you should seriously consider it. Now, everyone always looks for a good deal. And what I always say to my clients is that, look, when you buy a home, it feels stressed, but you get a good deal and you realize a good deal when you look at it 5 years from now after living the home and you say to yourself, I wish I would have bought 5 of those homes. Now, keep in mind, there's huge advantages to owning a home, and we're going to break that down number by number. The first and most important thing that I want you to consider is you're probably going to move. The average person stays in a home for about 7 years. Sometimes it's a little less, sometimes it's a little more, but the average is about 7 years. And over that course of time, your property is going to appreciate in value year by year. And when you sell your property in that 7-year time frame, you're going to realize those gains on the value of your property, and it's going to be money that you put directly into your pocket. Now, let's say, for example, this is your forever home and you're not intending on selling it in the next 7-10 years. Well, you're still accumulating the appreciation, and the value of your property is still increasing year over year. And what a lot of people will do will take some of that equity out of their house with the cash refinance, and they'll reinvest that into something else. I highly recommend purchasing a rental property, using that money to create additional wealth for you and your family down the road. Now, the second thing to consider when you're talking about renting versus buying is the principal pay down each month when you own your home. Now, when you're renting a space, 100% of your monthly payment goes away. You never see any of that money come back to you. It pays another person's mortgage and they get some profit off of you renting. When you own your home, a portion of your monthly payment pays down your loan, or what we call your principal. Now, the benefit of that is you don't realize that money right away, but when you sell the property in the future, or if you choose to refinance, you can actually realize a portion of that money back into your pocket when you sell your property. Now, let's break down these numbers side by side. Now, let's break down what your typical cost would be when you are buying a home. Now, in our area of California, $500,000 is kind of your traditional benchmark, and we'll use that just for round numbers. And if you look here, you can actually go to Zillow Mortgage Calculator, and they're actually a really good resource for you to do some quick math on what to expect for your payments. And I'll use this to kind of break down where you're going to save money and where the advantages are when owning a home versus renting. Now, let's just say our purchase price is $500,000. What I've done is I've actually set up a sheet that kind of breaks down everything for you and gives us a 10-year analysis of what the advantages are when you buy a property. Now, let's say, for example, our $500,000 purchase price, and we're going to put down 10%. The closing cost is usually 1.5% to 2%, and your terms is a 30-year mortgage. All of these numbers can be adjusted and changed, and if you'd like a copy of this document, I'm happy to send it. Just send something in the comments and I'll send it over to you. Now, if you look at it, your principal, your interest, your taxes, and your insurance, PITI, That is your typical monthly payment. That's the all encumbered payment, which includes your principal, your interest, your taxes, and your insurance. Now, all of those are required when you have a loan. Now, the important part to look at is, hey, this is your monthly payment. Ballpark figure. This can change totally based off of your credit score, interest rates, all of those things make an adjustment to that. But for simple math, I just want to show you these things. Now, what we'll look at here is the annual appreciation. Now, typically speaking, over the United States, annual appreciation is about 3%. Now, California is traditionally much better than that. Right now, the average appreciation over the last few years has been 6.77%. We're not taking into consideration the craziness that happened during COVID, and this is a fair assessment of what you could expect. Now, if we look at our 10-year analysis for a purchase price of $500,000, well, each year you're going to get appreciation. You won't really get it in year one because that's your starting point, but you'll see with 6.77% appreciation in year two, your property value is going to go from $500,000 to roughly $533,000. Now you're going to make $33,850 in appreciation just in that first year or 12 months that you live in the property. The next year we'll do the same thing and you'll get an additional $36,000. The next year you'll do the same thing, you'll get an additional $38,000. So if you live in the home for 5 years, your home value when you started at $500,000 is actually going to be worth roughly $50,000. And that's a pretty fair assessment to say when you're looking at the total appreciation year over year. Now, it might be a little aggressive, it might be a little bit high, it might be a little bit low, but you can use that as kind of a round number as you go through this process. Now, let me ask you this. If you were to sell your home on that day, you would clear, let's exclude closing costs, roughly $150,000 difference from what you purchased the property. How quickly are you able to save $150,000 with your current job that you have? How quickly could you save $150,000 collectively as a household with the current jobs you have? It's very difficult to do that, and your home will do that for you over time. You have to live in it for a period of time, but it will do that for you over time. And if you're renting, you're missing out on this complete advantage of the appreciation of the value of your property. Now, let's look at the second advantage, and that's debt pay down. Like I said, each month you're paying your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, and you're paying down that principal with each payment that you have. The important thing to remember is, well, how much is that? Well, to not get too complicated, each year it becomes more and more. So if you look at year one, right here, you're going to pay roughly $5,190 over the course of that 12 months, and that's going to pay your principal down in your loan. Now, what that means is that each month, $433 is going to go back into your pocket one day when you sell or you refinance your home. So, yes, you are making one larger payment, but you are getting a portion of that back of what you're paying each month. When you're renting, you don't see any of this back. Now, these numbers can change on different purchase price, but for $500,000, that's a pretty accurate statement. Now, let's look at that in year two. Year two, you've paid off $5,553 or $461 a month. And it's better with each month because as each month goes by, you're paying down more principal and less interest each month. And at the end of your 10 years, you're actually going to be paying $774 a month. Will be paying down your principal, and that'll be going back into your pocket. Now you can start to see the huge advantages of where you're starting to really make your money when owning a home versus renting a home. Hey guys, I hope that gives you a really good understanding of the advantages of buying and owning a home versus renting a home. Look, I don't know what your financial situation is, but if you're in a position where you can purchase a home, I strongly recommend doing it. There are huge advantages to it, and I'd love to see you and your family succeed. If you'd like more information, I'm happy to speak. I'll talk your ear off about real estate, or if you're thinking about selling your home and you'd like to talk to us about our flat fee listing, please give us a call at the number listed below. We'd love to talk to you. Have a great day, everyone, and God bless.